Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam negaraku sehati sejiwa. Salam Wafakat Johor. A very good morning and a warm welcome we bid to all. My name is Anim Zalina Azizan and I am very honored to be your Master of Ceremony this morning. First of all, allow me to extend the warmest welcome to Yang Berbahagia Profesor Dr. Abdul Razak Haji Omar, Acting Director Institute of Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah UTHM, also the Director of UTHM Paguh Campus. Yang Berbahagia Profesor Dr. Ahmad Musa Wang Yongbao, Dean of Academy of Islamic Finance and Economic, Xi'an International Studies University, Senior UTHM Officers, Institute Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah UTHM staff, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the University Tun Hussein on Malaysia, I would like to thank you for being here and welcome to the round table discussion One Belt, One Road, OBOR, Malaysia-China Strategic Partnership today. We are very honored to have the privilege of kicking off this session in our beloved university. Ladies and gentlemen, the Institute of Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah UTHM, together with MAIJ and Faculty of Accountancy UITM, has been instrumental in helping to organize this event this morning. So well done to all committee members for their unconditional commitment for this particular program and puts a lot of effort to ensure this program will run as per plan. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed further, I would like to call upon Al-Fadil Ustaz Sharir to recite the dua. Please welcome Ustaz.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Hamdan yuwafi ni'amahu wa yukafi majidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhika wa 'azimi sultanik. Allahumma ya Karim, ya Rahman, ya Rahim. Sesungguhnya kami berhimpun pada hari ini dan pada pagi ini bagi menyatakan kesyukuran di atas kurniaan segala nikmat yang tidak ternilai kepada kami. Jadikanlah kami hamba-hamba-Mu yang sentiasa bersyukur sama ada nikmat yang sedikit, lebih-lebih lagi nikmat yang melimpah ruah kepada kami. Ya Allah, Ya Rahim, sesungguhnya Engkau Maha mengetahui bahawa kami di sini ingin menimba ilmu yang sangat luas bagi mengembangkan potensi kami sebagai hamba-Mu yang Engkau redai di dunia ini. Justru berkati dan rahmatilah perhimpunan kami pada pagi ini. Kurniakanlah kepada kami apa kiranya ilmu. Sinarilah hati-hati kami dengan cahaya dan hidayah-Mu. Semoga dengannya kami mudah menerima dan menghayati serta mengamalkannya. Ya Allah, Ya Zal Jalal wal Ikram, kurniakanlah apa kiranya kepada kami kesihatan anggota, kecergasan minda, ketenangan jiwa, kekuatan semangat. Semoga dengannya kami mampu mendepani cabaran, berdaya saing dan mampu mengangkat martabat diri, keluarga, masyarakat dan negara. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana jam'an marhuma, tafarruqna min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma. لا تجعل اللهم فينا ولا معنا ولا من يتبعنا شقيا ولا مطرودا ولا محروما. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا تقبل دعاءنا إنك أنت السميع العليم وعلينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you, Ustaz Sharif, for the dua. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this event shall be started by a welcoming and opening speech from our Director of Institute of Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah. So if you would join me to welcome Yang Berbahagia Profesor Dr. Abdul Razak Haji Omar to deliver his welcoming speech. Please, Dato'.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to all of you. Terima kasih Puan Nana. Yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Ahmad Musa Wang Yong Bo, pronounce correctly, Dean of Academy of Islamic Finance Development, Xi'an International Study University, China. Sahabat saya yang bahagia Profesor Dr. Muhammad Som bin Sujimon, Chief Executive Officer College Pengajian Islam Johor Masa. Yang bahagia Associate Professor Dr. Fatmawati Ibrahim, Leaders Islamic Economic Focus Group Institute Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah. Yang berusaha Professor Associate Professor Dr. Noraiza Cik Awang, Leader RIT Islamic Accounting, Finance and Muamalat UTHM Selangor. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. To our foreign delegate and participant, a warm welcome to our beautiful Johor, Malaysia. It gives me a great pleasure to welcome all of you and chair the opening ceremony of this morning to the round table OBOR, One Belt, One Road, Malaysia-China Strategik discussion, which is organized by Institute of Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah in collaboration between Majlis Agama Islam Negeri Johor, MAISH, and Faculty of Accounting, Universiti Teknologi Mara, UTHM Selangor. I have no doubt in my mind that this round table discussion, OBOR, will be a worthwhile experience between Malaysia and China. We have an opportunity before us to learn from some of the best experts in this field, and I hope we will all walk away from this strategic relation discussion enriched with a better understanding of contemporary issue in Islamic economic and finance. Ladies and gentlemen, in this fast economic growth region, our nation Malaysia is the third largest economy in ASEAN, while China currently is the first largest economy in Asia. In recent, particularly Islamic economic and finance issues have received more attention from Muslim scholars and intellectuals than any other discipline. Thus, we need to put together the opinion from professors, researchers in Islamic economic, banking and finance areas from both countries, Malaysia and China, upon what is the most important research area should be focused on in order to keep them on the right track of achieving the objective of Islamic economic and finance. Here I can recognize 6 major research areas in Islamic economic and finance, which are: first, Islamic banking, other Islamic financial institution, zakat, wakaf and poverty alleviation, Islamic monetary system, philosophical issue, and finally fiqh al-mu'amalat al-maliyah. Zakat, wakaf and poverty alleviation is considered as the most important area, even though nowadays Islamic banking are mushrooming in almost every Muslim state, from Sudan to Iran, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Egypt, Malaysia and Indonesia. In fact, in European countries have also Islamic banks. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia has developed Islamic finance as one of the sectors that not only add value to the economy but offer an alternative to business and the public. Thomson Reuters estimate that Malaysia holds a fourth of the world USD 1.7 trillion in Islamic financial assets, the largest share in the world. Led by Islamic banking, Malaysia Sharia compliant financial sector is expected to expand at 20% per year after recording a growth rate of 13% over the last 3 years. according to the Association of Islamic Banking Institutions in Malaysia. The country's 16 Islamic bank, including the 5 foreign ones, hold more than USD 135 billion in asset, or 26% of the country's total banking asset. The adoption of the new Islamic Financial Service Act is expected to drive the figure up to 40% by 2017. Takaful also posts healthy growth rate in Malaysia. In 2016, premium rose 23% year-on-year to USD 5 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, this roundtable OBOR is first in its kind to bring Muslim scholar and researcher to rethink about the direction to achieve the goal of Islamic economy and finance, particularly between Malaysia and China. I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to the organizer and in particular our honorable speaker, which come all the way from China, right? All of them has been working with us since the beginning of the planning stage, and they are still here today for all of us, even though they are both very busy with their responsibility at the agencies. We truly appreciate your dedication, and again, this OBOR could not have been made possible without the contribution of Institute Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah, Majlis Agama Islam Johor, College Masa, UTHM, UPenn, Jacob and IRDA, some IRDA representative here, who foresee the importance of Islamic economic and finance. I hope that these 2 days will give all members opportunity to discuss further in gaining mutual understanding for research, collaboration and publication. The result of this research in collaboration with Mahesh will be forwarded to the Johor government to promote the implementation of the Islamic finance system, particularly in relation to the investment of the China government to Iskandar Malaysia in Johor. Finally, I would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to Professor Dr. Ahmad Musa Wang, Professor Dr. Noraiza Cik Awang, and other experts for their invaluable input to this seminar. I would also like to extend my special thanks to Majlis Agama Islam Johor, Masa, and other agencies for their support to organize this event successfully. I hope that this OBOR will serve to broaden our perspective on the role of the Islamic finance for economic development for the financial sector. Sekian dengan lafaz Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, saya merasmikan this round table. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Datuk, for your outstanding speech. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have as our moderator for roundtable discussion today Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Haji Muhammad alias Matsum bin Sujimon, Chief Executive Officer, College Islamic Studies Johor, Masa. It is now my pleasure to introduce our first guest panel. The first one is Yang Berbahagia Professor Dr. Ahmed Musa Wang Yongbao, Director of Dean of Academy of Islamic Finance and Economic, Xi'an International Studies University, China. Ni hao, Prof. Yang Berbahagia Profesor Bahagia Dr. Fatmawati Ibrahim, Head of Islamic Economic Focus Group from Institute Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah, the second panel. And the third one is Professor Madya Dr. Noraiza Cik Awang, Head of RIG Islamic Accountancy, Finance and Muamalat, UTHM Selangor Campus. Apa khabar? Yang Berbahagia Prof, Raini dan juga Dr. Fatmawati. So please welcome. So over to you, Professor Muhammad Mansum, to be the moderator for the roundtable discussion. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Salatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wasallam. Amma ba'd. Honorable Dato' Professor Dr. Imam, Acting Director of Institute of Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah, UTHM and acting director of branch. Profesor Dr. Fatmawati Rahim, leader Islamic Economic Researcher, UTHM, and Associate Professor Dr. Tarikh Islamic Accounting, Finance and Muamalat, Islamic Transaction, Islamic Branch, and not forget, as my beloved brother, Professor Dr. Ahmad Musa. I would like to call him Ahmad. So because my son is also Ahmad, rather than Yong Bao. Yong Bao is you go to China and then you can use your Yong Bao. So here Ahmad. So welcome to Tempat, Malaysia. Alhamdulillah, and praise be to Allah, in which by His grace that we are able to come to UTHM this morning and to discuss about the opportunity in carrying research on OBOR, or One Belt, One Road. My name is Haji Muhammad Somsujimo. So I was together with my brother when we were in UIA, and also I was appointed as when I went to Brunei in 2005, when I left to Brunei, and then I come back and joined BNM, Bank Malaysia, and I was appointed as senior researcher in ISRA, Islamic Sharia Research Academy, and my brother was there in Siak, next to us, Jalan University in Kuala Lumpur. He was, I thought, he was a visiting professor. Alhamdulillah, and we meet again here in Tempat, Johor. I really appreciate that too, Professor Raza, who he trusted me to carry out this task as a moderator in this session. So without further ado, let me introduce our guest today, and also the forum that will going to take place today, this morning. That just for your information, that Professor Dr. Ahmad Musa is the Dean of Academic Islamic Finance Development in countries around Belt and Road, Asian International Studies, University of China. And Dr. Nuraizan Syawan is from UTHM in Selangor, and Fatmawati Rahim is from here. So we would like to have this opportunity to have discussion in which that we are going to have some sort of collaboration between China and Malaysia. And Johor has been chosen to be one of the region in Malaysia to have collaboration opportunities and research and so on and so forth. So that I give this opportunity to all of you to have ideas and points that may be raised together, and we would like to have some of you to concentrate on our collaboration with our strategic partnership with Malaysia and China. So now is I think I give about 30 minutes for presentation, one of you, and then from there we discuss whatever the result of this thing. I think then if so, then we may start now.
Yeah.
Okay, Bismillah. Okay, Professor.
Now, so I short time. Give me the computer.
Actually, the arrangement is me and Dr. Aizan will be 10 minutes each, and the focus will be
Sure. Okay, wait.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirrabbil wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning this session. I really appreciate all of you, especially the moderator who introduced me to you and the acting director of Ahl Sunnah wa Jama'ah, Prof. Abdul Razak. Our brothers and sisters, I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect all of us in this morning and after that. The topic given to you is Belt and Road and Muslim world. It's not only between Malaysia and China, because the Belt, the road is a concept, a new concept that comes from our President Xi Jinping, who would like to cooperate with the third world, especially for the developing countries, and including Muslim countries as well. So that's why I give the topic like Belt and Road and Muslim world. And beside of this, I add one subtopic as the smart partnership with China. The concept, as Muslims should know. Why I give you this idea? Because our president used the concept, the Silk Road, to start the collaboration with the world, not only with Muslim world, but use the concept. What happened to the history? We have to study. This kind of things happened in China, in Tang Dynasty. Muslim world opened mind and sent the messages to China and started work together to build up the Silk Road. There are two ways. One is through our northwestern China to Xinjiang, Central Asia, to go to Middle East, then reach Europe. Another way is come from seaside, South China. And this way including Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei. So Muslim world included. The cooperation is very close at that time. China open mind and Muslim world also open mind to cooperate. What happened in the history? We see the economy in the world. One third of economy occupied by Muslims at that time. We have to study this clearly. So the cooperation as we have to think, symbolize the communication, cooperation between East and West. The Silk Road, the spirit is historic, and the culture heritage shared by all countries around the world. This is a concept. When Chinese President Xi Jinping visited Central Asia, the South Asia, in September and October 2013, he raised this kind of the idea again to building or to build jointly building the Silk Road economic belt and the 21st century maritime Silk Road, which emphasized the area of economics can be cooperated by China and East countries, for example, Malaysia and Indonesia, Brunei. Starting with Malaysia already, we think Mr. Xi Jinping and Chinese Premier Li Keqiang emphasized the need to build the maritime Silk Road oriented toward Asia. So they already started with Asia Bank, benefit the both sides. Now, we think the Belt and Road initiative is a systematic project which should be jointly built through consultation to meet the interests of all. An effort should be made to integrate the development, the strategies of countries along the Belt and the Road. The Chinese government has drafted and published the vision actions on jointly building Silk Road economic belt and 21st century maritime Silk Road to promote the implementation of the initiative. Insist vigor and vitality into the Asian Silk Road, as I mentioned before, connect Asia, Europe, and African countries more closely and promote mutually beneficial cooperation to a new height and in a new force. So this new form is with many instruments can be used to enhance the relations between Malaysia, for example, and China. This background that we look at is complex and profound changes are taking place in the world. The underlying impact of international financial crisis keeps emerging. The world economy is recovering slowly and the global development is unveiled. So this is the problem. The international trade and investment landscape and rules for mutual trade and investment are undergoing major adjustment. So we think, as a Muslim, what kind of things we can use according to Sharia in front of this kind of the cooperation is our question to ask ourselves. To cooperate with China, for example. The countries still face big challenges to their development. Not only Malaysia, Indonesia, and other countries. I mean the third world. The initiative to jointly build the Belt and Road, embracing the trend toward multi-cooperation, as we use this word. Economic globalization, cultural diversity, and greater IT application is designed to uphold the global free trade regime and the open world economy in the spirit of open regional cooperation. So in the spirit of regional cooperation, meaning that divided into two ways. One is in the Southeast Asia, another one is in the Central Asia or North Asia. The project already started with Pakistan, as you know. China government invested 46 billion USD to build the belt with Pakistan, starting with which is a Muslim country. The Belt and Road Initiative aims to promote the connectivity of Asian, European, and African countries in the areas we see, establish the strength of partnership among the countries along the Belt and Road, set up all dimensional cooperation, compose connectivities network, realize diversified, independent, balanced, and sustainable development in the countries. Now the countries included 64 countries. The connectivity projects, the initiative will help align and coordinate the development strategies of cultures along the Belt and Road, tap market potential in this region, promote investment and consumption, create demands and job opportunities, enhance people-to-people and cultural exchange, mutual learning among the peoples of relevant countries, and enable them to understand each other, trust each other, and respect each other, and live in harmony, peace, and prosperity. This is the aim, or as we said, is maqasid of this kind of project utilized. China's economy is closely connected with the world economy. China will stay committed to the basic policy of opening up, build a new pattern of all-around opening up, and integrate itself deeply into the world economic system. The initiative will enable China to further expand and deepen its opening up and to strengthen its mutual beneficial cooperation with countries in Asia, Europe, and Africa, and the rest of the world. China is committed to shouldering more responsibilities and obligations within its capabilities, and making greater contributions to the peace development of mankind. The principles 7 talking about the Belt and Road Initiative is in line with the purpose and principles of UN Charter. It upholds the 5 principles of peaceful coexistence, mutual respect for each other's sovereignty and territorial integrity, mutual negotiation, for example, mutual non-interference in each other's interior affairs, equality, mutual benefit, and peaceful coexistence. The initiative is open for cooperation. It covers, but it's not limited to the areas of Asian Sea Group. It is open to all countries and international and regional organizations for engagement, so that the results of the concerted efforts will benefit wider areas. The initiative is harmonious and inclusive. It advocates tolerance among the civilizations, meaning that to respect the Muslim world and others, respects the faith, the path and modes of development chosen by different countries. I emphasize these kind of things. The modes of development chosen by different countries. So what Malaysia, for example, is choosing, respected by China. Supports dialogues among different civilizations on the principles of seeking common ground, while showing differences, drawing on each other's strength, meaning that they will respect the faith of Muslims, so that all countries can coexist in peace for common prosperity. The initiative follows market operation. It will abide by market rules and international norms. Now we produce the international standard, for example, for muamalat, for banking system, for finance. This kind of norms will be respected by China. Give play to the role of the market in resources allocation and the primary role of the price, for example. And let the government perform their due functions. The initiative seeks mutual benefit, accommodates the interest and the concern of all partners involved, seeks a conjunction of interest and the biggest common denominator, for example, for cooperation so as to give full play to the wisdom, creativity, for example, strengths and the potentials of all partners. The framework used by Belt and Road Initiative is the way for win-win cooperation that promotes common development and prosperity, and a route toward peace, friendship by enhancing mutual understanding and trust and strengthening all around exchanges. The Chinese government advocates peace and cooperation, openness and inclusiveness, mutual learning and mutual benefit, promotes practical cooperation in all fields, and works to build community of shared interest in destiny and the responsibility. So featuring mutual political trust, economic integration, and cultural inclusiveness. The Belt and Road run through the countries of Asia, starting with Asia, then with Europe, again with Africa, connecting the vibrant East Asia Economic Circle at one and developed European Economic Circle at another, and encompassing countries with huge potential for economic development. The Silk Road Economic Belt focus on bringing together China, Central Asia, Russia, Europe, linking China with Persian Gulf and as we said, Middle East countries through Central Asia and West. So this is very important, starting with Muslim countries, through Muslim countries, then to European countries and African countries. Connecting China with Southeast Asia, South Asia, and the Indian Ocean. The 21st century Muslim, also 21st century maritime Silk Road is designed to go from China's coast to European through the South China Sea and the Indian Ocean in one routine, and from China's coast through the South China Sea to South Pacific in another. On land, we will see, starting with South Asia and Central Asia, the initiative will focus on jointly building a new Euro-Asian, we say, you use this kind of terminology, land bridge and developing China, Mongolia, Russia, China, Central Asia, West Asia, and China, Indochina. So this kind of the strategy, by taking advantage of international transport routes, rely on core cities or cities along the Belt and Road, using the key economic industrial parks as cooperation platforms. That's why they said China and Pakistan's cooperation is the first platform used this kind of idea. At the sea, initiative will focus on joint building smooth, secure and different transport routes connecting major sea ports along the Belt and Road, starting with Johor Bahru. All right. The China-Pakistan economic corridor as an example. No, Johor Bahru's project is another. The initiative is clear in our mind. The vision, economic vision, of the opening up and cooperation among the countries along the Belt and Road, countries should work in trust. And to trust each other using the economic understanding. How to cooperate together is a more important theme between two countries. To be specific, the need to improve the region's infrastructure and put in place a secure and efficient network of land, sea, and air passages, lifting their connectivities to a high level, further enhance trade and investment facilitations, for example. Establish a network of free trade areas that meet a high standard, maintain close economic ties, and deepen political trust. Enhance cultural exchange, encourage different civilizations to learn from each other, to flourish together, to promote mutual understanding, peace and friendship among people of all countries. The cooperation we need to do with this kind of understanding, countries along the Belt and Road have their own resources, advantages, and their economics are mutually complementary. Therefore, there is a great potential and space for cooperation. They should promote policy coordination, facilities, for example, connectivity. So the trade, the financial integration, and people-to-people bonds as their 5 major goals, strengthening cooperation in the following key areas. For example, enhancing policy coordination is an important guarantee for implementing the initiative. So we should promote intergovernment cooperation, build a mutual, multi-level intergovernmental macro-policy exchange and communication mechanism, expand the shared interest, enhance mutual political trust, and reach new cooperation consensus. Countries along the Belt and Road may fully coordinate the economic development strategies and policies, work out plans and measures for regional cooperation, negotiate to solve cooperation-related issues, and jointly provide policy support for implementation of practical cooperation and large-scale projects. So facilities, connectivity is priority areas for implementing initiative. On the basis of respecting each other's sovereignty and the security concerns, countries along the Belt and Road should improve connectivity of their infrastructure construction plans and technical standards systems, jointly push forward the construction of the international franc. So these kind of things in our mind should be kept in the first stage, infrastructure network connecting all countries in the Asia. And between Asia, Europe, and Africa, step by step. At the same time, efforts should be made to promote green and low carbon infrastructure cooperation or construction operation management, taking into full account the impact of climate change on the construction. It's a consideration. The investment and trade cooperation is a major task in building the Belt and Road. We should strive to improve investment and trade facilitation. and remove investment and trade barriers from creation of the sound business environment within the region and in all related countries. We will discuss with countries and the regions along the Belt and Road on opening free trade areas so as to unleash the potential for expanded cooperation. The financial area, the financial integration is very important for us to know. It's important and pining for implementing the Belt and Road Initiative. So this kind of things in our mind is a secular or conventional one. But what's the role of Islamic finance? We should deeply financial cooperation. This is a task. And make more efforts in building a currency stability system. So you have to think what kind of the stability system for the currency used in this Belt and Road. Investment of finance system, credit information system in Asia. We should expand the scope and the scale of the bilateral currency swap, for example, and settlement with other countries along the Belt and Road. This started already. So you recognize the yen as a currency used in the countries of Belt and Road. Develop the bond market. I emphasize the scoop in Asia. Make joint efforts to establish the Asia Infrastructure Investment Bank or other banks, for example, New Development Bank, conduct a negotiation among related parties on establishing Shanghai Cooperation Organization, financing institutions, and set up and put into operation the Silk Road Fund. It's already done. And others, for example, as the Interbank Association, carry out multilateral financial cooperation in the form of loans, this kind of this against the Muslims' interests, bank credit. China's side will support efforts of governments of countries along the Belt and Road and their companies. Financial institutions with good credit rating to issue renminbi, yen, renminbi bond in China. Qualified Chinese financial institutions and the companies are encouraged to issue bonds, in both renminbi and foreign currencies outside of China, and use the funds thus collected in countries among the Belt and Road. People to people, for example, people to people bond provides the public support for implementing the initiative. We should carry forward the spirit of friendly cooperation of Silk Road by promoting extensive cultural and academic exchanges. It's a promise of government. Extensive culture and academic exchange. So at our level, personal exchanges and cooperation, media cooperation, youth women exchanges, and the volunteer services, so as to win public support for deepening bilateral and multilateral cooperation. So we have to concern the interest of our people in this country. Cooperation mechanism, the world economic, this kind of things is clear in your mind. I don't want to repeat here. It is a bilateral mechanism such as joint committee and mixed committee, coordinating committee. So the project will be set up by both parties, China and Malaysia, as an example. China in action for more than 2 years or more than 3 years, 5 years, as you said. The Chinese government has been actively promoting the building of the Belt and Road, enhancing communication and consultation, and advancing practical cooperation with countries along the Belt and Road, and introduced a series of policies and measures for early outcomes. So what we should learn from this kind of strategy, and we put ourselves in the platform, we come with some research. Outcomes can be benefit by both parties. High-level guidance and facilitations, Mr. Xi Jinping and Premier Li Keqiang have visited over 20 countries, or more than 20 countries, attended the dialogues. The purpose of this kind of activity is to promoting the Belt and Road by themselves. As a Chinese, the part of China, citizen, I have a role to promote this kind of things. But at the same time, as a Muslim, we have to think of our future, how to cooperate with China side. The Belt and Road cooperation features mutual respect and trust, mutual benefit and win-win cooperation, and mutual learning between civilizations. Very important, article here. The Belt and Road cooperation features mutual respect, trust, mutual benefit, win-win cooperation, and mutual learning between civilizations. What is our civilization as a Muslim? Islamic civilization. What China side is as said, is a Confucius civilization. Both civilizations have same ideas in front of economics, politics, development. As long as all countries along the Belt and Road make connected, concrete efforts to pursue the common goals, there will be bright prospects for Silk Road economic belt and the 21st century maritime Silk Road. And the people of countries along the Belt and Road can all benefit from this initiative. So, 2013, the One Belt Route initiated by China planned to revive the Asian Silk Road linking, as I summarize the idea. Economic prosperity seen as only way to maintain the peace within, outside China borders, for example, involve more than 60 countries, half of global population. So as Muslims, we have 1/3 or 1/4 population in the world. But for Muslims' future, who are going to take responsibility for them? The things that I would like to ask you, how inclusive is it? Problem of this kind of things, conflicts, strifes, for example, you have to think. The project aimed at extending China's geographical influence, or we see geopolitical influence, as many people use the new colonialism. It's not this kind of things we have to discuss, but some people think about it. How to overcome, resolve the distrust, suspicions of partners or neighbors. For example, now we have many questions in our mind in front of, towards this kind of the strategy. So refer to Malaysia initiative in creating smart partnership since 1995. This is we call in the time of Mahathir use the term of smart partnership. Refer to President Xi Jinping's message, solid sense of the game to potential partners, for example. Engage partnering nations in articulating a win-win agenda aimed at collective common good among the tenets of prosperous neighbors, for example. We are the neighbors. The concept used, don't back their neighbors, create prosperity, don't be self-serving. This kind of the ideas promoted by Dom Mahathir. Smart partnership as a model that we use. Shared vision. What's a shared vision? Okay, fair, equitable outcomes for partners. Ethical commitment by all partners, based on respect, trust, tolerance, transparency. This is the idea I come with you. This is the last slide I use here. Now I open the question if it is how importance of Malaysia or how importance of Muslim countries towards the Belt and the Road. How importance of Muslim countries towards the Belt and Road strategy. It's my question you have to think about. Let me explain to you if there is something that I can draw with you, then explain again for you how importance of Muslim countries. Okay, this is a map. We think about it. China in this side, Malaysia. The China go northwest China. You see, here is a Muslim country, Central Asia, South Asia, Pakistan. Okay, Malaysia, Indonesia, for example. Where's the Mr. President Xi Jinping raised the Belt and Road strategy towards the world? You know, others will think about how to stop this kind of the strategy we used in the world. Why they stop it? Because peacefully cooperation not be preferred by other countries, for example, U.S. But the U.S. made the strategy before China's strategy. So at least they set up the base in Japan. In Japan in Singapore. So meaning that other countries will stop China's strategy of Belt and Road. Only the Muslim countries open the road, open the market, cooperate with China. It's South Asia, only Muslim countries. Malaysia is the first base. Malaysia is the first country. Malaysia is the first partner with China in this kind of the strategy, Belt and Road strategy. And Indonesia too, after Malaysia is successful, they will go to Indonesia, Brunei included. They already started with Central Asia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, but only with the road is with land is very difficult. to to push the movement in front or to forward. But they used the V is Pakistan. What is Pakistan? Pakistan located in a very important, location. And here is India. And here Afghanistan. You know Afghanistan. Afghanistan. After that is Persian, or we said is Iran. Towards that is Emirates, or first is Emirat, Oman, Bahrain, all with East. After that, Turk. We said Turk. Them. So all Muslim countries will cooperate with China. They use the week. Then after that, Europe, America, Africa, South Africa. How importance of Muslim countries towards this kind of the strategy raised by our President Xi Jinping. There's no way. There is no way cooperate with non-Muslim countries except the Muslim countries. Now I raise a question. What's the interest of Muslim be protected by yourself? How do you protect yourself in front of this kind of the Belt and Road strategy? So do you think there is something that's happened in your country? You can compromise and sacrifice your faith as a Muslim to accept something that is a conventional or secular. You are Muslim, or we are Muslims. I'm from one side. Yesterday I raised by one brother as a question. I'm a Muslim. I'm from China. I support this kind of the Belt and Road strategy. I support, totally support, because the world economy needs the balance. The world economy needs the balance, not only occupied by U.S. and European countries, and they benefit from Muslim countries. Oh, I use the term, they steal the properties from Muslim countries for centuries. And no, we have to make the awareness to cooperate with China's side, but use the Islamic way. A long time we already sacrificed our faith. But this time with a Belt and Road, we have to enhance our faith. There is no conflict between two sides. As I explained to you, the trust enhanced by the Quran. The China side said that we have to trust each other. Civilization to be respected. Our faith is civilization. There is no cultural said is a civilization. Our faith is civilization. To be respected by China, and as well we respect their civilization. But this kind of respect needs your effort. Financial system created by China. You need to create the system. Participate at least to create the system. What kind of system you want to put in? The system is Islamic system, Sharia standard. You already made the effort since last century for Islamic finance. Malaysia is leader of Islamic finance in the world. So if you be successful, after that Pakistan, Middle East, Turkey will use what? Islamic finance as a standard to cooperate with China to push the Belt and Road strategy. But you, as Malaysia, sacrifice yourself as Pakistan doing now. Sacrifice the Islamic finance at this time. You miss the opportunity. And again, you come with what? A secular conventional system. As the leader of the government, the sacrifice, the interest of people is a crime. In the day hereafter, you have to be accounted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is my idea. Okay, any questions you raise for this kind of explanation?
Thank you, ending, let me ask these ladies listen about 10-15 minutes, and then we wrap up all the questions. I think so many questions from Malaysia. So can we do it? Okay, please. So 10-15 minutes, and then we wrap all the Q&A later.
Auzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang berbahagia Profesor Datuk Sri Razak, yang berbahagia Profesor Dr. Prof. Dr. Masa, and brothers and sisters, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm honored, we are very honored that the University Institute Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah agreed to invite us to co-host this historical event. This is one of the efforts since there is also a MOU between UTHM and the university. Okay, I think probably most of us have been to Hajj, and some of us are going. Yeah? This is the scenery that we see when we go for Hajj. When I was in Hajj in 2015, we see thousands of our Chinese Muslim brothers performing their Hajj, and their numbers are more than our brothers and sisters from Indonesia. So probably this accounts for the fact that they have more Muslims in China than Indonesia. With more than 300 million Muslims in China, which is more than the 250 million Muslims in Indonesia, this is something that we have to reckon with. And with the fact that with the vast investment through One Belt, One Road, this also we should take into consideration when we talk about our ukhuwah Islamiyah, Insaniyah, and Wasaniyah. And if you look at Surah At-Tawbah in ayah 9, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, wal mu'minuna wal mu'minat ya'duhum awliya'u ba'd. Ya'muruna bil ma'ruf wa yanhauna 'anil munkar ويقيمون الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة ويطيعون الله ورسوله أولئك سيرحمهم الله إن الله عزيز حكيم. So this is our unity as a Muslim, and again the strongest level of brotherhood is a sense of community among us. Friendship and common purpose in Islam is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in this level, we as believers, I think we should work together towards fulfilling the goals of the religion and living out of these divine values. And again, if you look at Surah Al-Hujurat, Juz 49, ayat 10, Innamal mu'minuna ikhwat فأصلحوا بين أخواتكم واتقوا الله لعلكم ترحمون. Allah berfirman, the believers are but brothers, so make reconciliations between your brothers and fear Allah, and that you may receive mercy. So this is a reminder also to all of us to
take care of our brotherhood and our sisterhood with our brothers and sisters in China. Now, our first collaboration with Northwest University of Politics and Law is when we invited Prof. Dr. Masa to speak to our students and our lecturers in September last year. He was the director of Institute of Islamic Law, Islamic Economics and Islamic Finance at Northwest at that time. So we invited him to speak on zakat accounting within the framework of IOP, accounting, auditing for organization for Islamic financial institutions, and also maqasid Sharia and accountability within the IOP framework. So that is our first initial collaboration between Northwest University and our Faculty of Accountancy in 2016. Now, at present, we have our academic collaborations between our research group, our research interest group, which is Islamic Accounting, Islamic Finance, and Muamalat at UTHM Cawangan Selangor, with the newly set up Academy of Islamic Finance Development along countries in Belt and Road, where our Prof. Ahmad Musa is the dean appointed by the local government, and he is also still the director of the Institute of Islamic Law, Islamic Economics and Islamic Finance. So at the moment, what we have is a gentleman's agreement between our faculty and both universities. Academy of Islamic Finance Development is under SIAN, International Studies University. Soon in 28 December, we are co-hosting together an international conference on accounting and muamalat, together with SIAN International Universities and Northwest University of Politics and Law. So this is the beginning of our future collaboration, and also writing books and joint conferences together about the issues in Belt and Road. So this is what we are trying to collaborate. Currently, this is what we are doing, co-hosting our latest international conference on accounting and muamalat, seminars and symposium together, writing textbooks and publications. So let's just look at the current website of the Academy. Later we'll show the website. So these are our suggested areas of collaboration between UTHM and the two universities. It's all in the pipeline. We are coming out with a memorandum of association with Northwest University of Politics and Law, as well as SIAN International Universities. We are discussing on conducting joint research and development projects, cooperation in individual projects with our lecturers and researchers, organization of lectures, symposia, international meetings, conferences and workshops, exchange of researchers and students, exchange of information, teaching materials and publications, and also providing for professors and researchers to give lectures in our universities. And we are also searching for opportunities to collaborate in the future, as well as joint academic programs. This is what we are currently discussing, and right now is a gentleman agreement that we are going to pursue and make it a success. Okay. So that is our idea for areas of collaboration. Again, thank you for inviting us to co-host this roundtable discussion. And we would like to see more of this together with our faculty. Sekian, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
10-15 minutes. And then we discuss our collaboration and research our
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And thank you, Prof. Masu and Dr. Razak, Acting Director, and my colleague panels. And I think now is from the Tuan Rumah session lah. Okay, what I'm going to do here, with the current presentation is about, of course, it's about OBOR, One Belt, One Road. And let me share with you how does it comes into the situation today. I mean, how does it comes into the program today? We organize the program today. Actually, I was approached by Associate Professor Dr. Noraiza. She invited me to join her team for a research, to apply for a research grant from the government of China's grant. Okay, and the area of the research is on takaful. She invited me to join in takaful, and I was thinking that actually takaful is the area of Islamic finance is our core business, Islamic finance, economics and finance at Institute Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah. So I was thinking that instead of I go there, why don't we make it big, bring them here and we work together, and that is how it started. Okay, and now initially it is only between, the discussion was only between UITM Puncak Alam, between me and Dr. Noraiza. Now it becomes bigger. It is, we are going to invite from UITM's Gamai, our friend from Masa, from UTM, and also, of course, here we from UTHM, I mean the Institute of Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah. And Alhamdulillah, I think this is the beginning. Okay. Now, why do we interested to do in OBOR here? Of course, my area is in economics. So when I go web searching about economics, I find OBOR here, OBOR there. Okay, everyone is talking about OBOR, and we know that it started in 2013 when the China president, Mr. Xi, introduced about OBOR, and now it becomes bigger, and it seems that you cannot stop it. Okay, it seems that. Then I remember the idiom which says that if you cannot beat them, join them. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. I think it's not that there's no intention to beat them, okay, but the intention is to participate, be in the system, inshallah. So now the introduction, China's state-owned enterprise, we can see that investing outside China, and it creates opportunities for internationally minded companies to participate in massive capital projects in Asia, Africa, and Europe. I think all of us knows that China is said to be one of the biggest economic power in next to come. Okay, and at time of growing concern about protectionism and economic nationalization, China is increasingly advocating trade openness, but with this comes great expectations. Okay, now, as I said just now, we can see here and there is talking about OBOR. What is it actually? Okay, it is the OB is one belt, refers to the Silk Road economic belt, and the one road refers to the 21st century maritime Silk Road. This has been explained by Prof. Ahmad just now. And jointly, they are meant to be a revival of the ancient Silk Road trading routes. Okay, so this is the one actually. Okay, this is the sea road, the one with green here, through the sea. This is the sea road, and we call it as one road. And the one through the land is called as one belt. Okay, so combining or joining together, we have one belt, one road. It means that both the road and the sea, land and sea. Okay, and what is it actually? What is it all about? It's all about massive building massive stuff, mostly around transport and energy, roads, bridges, gas pipelines, ports, railways, and power plants. Okay, so this is what they wanted to do. The China wanted to do along the one belt, one road countries. Okay, the intention is to improve the infrastructure of overland and maritime routes to drive trade and capital flows between the east and the west. and it was proposed by Xi in 2013. The program is an estimated 5 trillion infrastructure spending spree that spans 60 plus countries across Asia, Middle East, Europe, and Africa. And it is hailed by Xi as a project of the century. This reminds me to the situation when we were entering the new millennium in 1990s, where the United Nations managed to get agreement from all of the member countries of the United Nations, and they agreed to sign the Millennium Development Goal, MDG. And by that time, it is the United Nations, okay? It means that combinations of all of the states, all of the countries over the world managed to get the sign of 160 UN members, okay, to work together to achieve a project where they call it as Millennium Development Goals Project, okay. It is such a big project. But now what happened is that China alone, they managed to get agreement of 70 countries all over the world, and they call it as Project of the Century. So now we can see that how powerful the China's economy here. They tried to control the world, okay? So this is where we come in, okay? In May 2017, to hear world leaders gathered in Beijing to hear China's plan for global trade, the One Belt, One Road initiative. And in 2017, May, nearly 70 countries and international organizations have signed up for the mega infrastructure project. It is half of the United Nations world, the United Nations countries in 1990 when the UN decided to have a project we call as Millennium Development Goal. Okay, the next gathering in Beijing is scheduled for 2019, and Xi pledged at least 113 billion in extra funding for the initiative and urged countries across the globe to join hands with him in pursuit of globalization. So how is it going so far? As leading players in the initiative, about 50 Chinese state-owned companies have invested in nearly 1,700 OBOR projects since 2013. The flagship projects include the 46 billion China-Pakistan corridor, 3,000 kilometer high-speed railway connecting China and Singapore, and gas pipelines across Central Asia. The Belt and Road Initiative has also entered regions as far as New Zealand, Britain, and even the Arctic. So we can see how it's spread all over the world. Okay, what about Malaysia? China's investment in Malaysia. Okay, we hear that it is too much, too fast, or too soon. Okay, I'm not going to analyze about it, but I'm going to share with you a small figure here. I think if the people knows better. Okay, the total secured investment for the period beginning 2006 until June 2016 is amounting to 207.99 billion. Okay, and 60% of the investors are foreigners, with the bulk of them being mainland Chinese investors. Okay, so this is from 2006 until June 2016. And what the IFDA Federal Commissioner Nur Hisham Muhammad Yusof said, he said that we are hopeful of achieving the 383 billion investment target by 2025. Is now China is already 60%. What do you think in 2025? Okay. All right. Now this is the data that I have. Oh, it seems that it is not cooperating. What the data is trying to say is only that among the top 10 foreign investors in IFDA project, China is the top. Okay, with 23.29 billion. Okay, and what does it has to do with us? As we said just now, there's a saying that if you cannot beat them, join them. Okay, so this is what we want to do: get involved. How are we going to get involved? Number one, make sure our projects benefits all. It means that benefits all the participating countries. I read one comment or one statement. Is there any countries will not be benefited from the OBOR projects? I mean, from the participating countries. And the answer down there said that if they do not get the benefits, they are not going to participate. Okay, but the issue is that is the benefits maximized. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. We are going to make sure that OBOR projects benefit all, and number two, let the OBOR projects benefit the Muslim in OBOR countries. As Prof. Ahmad said just now, if we are not the one who are going to defend for the Muslims, then who else are going to do it? That is where we are going to get involved, okay? And let the Islamic financial systems be implemented in the OBOR projects. And in the context of Malaysia, specifically in Johor, this is what we are going to invite our IRDA friends to participate or to join us, okay? Now, how? Number one is by research collaboration, okay? This is what we are going to do. We are going to do research, and in the areas of, yesterday we have a short discussion with Prof. Ahmad. We have identified several research areas in Islamic finance which are to be taken among the groups. And now, currently we have participation from UITM Puncak Alam, Institute Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah ourselves, and UITM Segamat, Masa, and UTM. And, sorry? Yes, Wakaf Anur, and also IRDA and MAIJ, Jabatan Agama Islam Johor, and also from UPenn, okay? And these research collaborations, the best part is that, through our project, is that we are going to collaborate with the academy led by Prof. Ahmad in China, from Academy of Islamic Finance Development along the Belt and Road. It means that we are going to apply research grant from the government of China. Okay, this is the area of research collaboration. And for your information, today we have 2 sessions. In the morning is roundtable discussion, which is this session, and in the afternoon at 2:30 p.m. we are going to have a closed session between Prof. Ahmad and the researchers interested. Okay, so those of you who are interested, you can stay to be with us in the afternoon session, inshallah. And next is publication. Okay, again, Prof. Ahmad suggested us to do the writings after the research and before the research. And then again, we are going to publish it either in China or in Malaysia. Okay, this is where the publication comes in. And finally, it is the conference where normally it is research results dissemination will be done here. Okay, so how is it going to do? Basically, this is the framework. Okay, research and publication. Institutions between UTHM, UITM, Masa, UTM, JAIJ, and other institutions such as IRDA and Ogos and else, okay? Okay, and result disseminations will be done by MAIJ, SADC, and Academy of Islamic Finance Development along the Belt and Road. The intention is that our part in Malaysia here, especially we from the Institute of Ahli Sunnah wal Jamaah, will give their findings to MAIJ and SPDC, which will then influence the Johor state government. We hope it can be done that way. Okay, because China's investment is a lot in IRDA, where state government, I think, can have a say in the implementation, for example, in the financial system that is implemented. Okay. And AIFD will channel the findings, result dissemination to the China government, okay, and this will be done by Prof. Musa, inshallah, and we suggest for implementation. So basically, that is what we plan to do, and we really need cooperation from everyone here, and let us join us, and let us go. Okay, thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah. And now we would like to tell you that we have our brother from Johor Tech as well, other than one that seated, and also from UITM, researcher, most of researcher, as long we are talking about theory and practice. So, because what I'm trying to say here is that the issue, Chinese investment in Malaysia, is a big issue, as you know. But we as Muslims, as you said, that we have to have some sort of Islamic financial system to be implemented in the business that we are carrying out. And I think that, I don't know, this is just, I question myself, why the Malaysian government, long time ago, they asked non-Burmese to speak Chinese, but I don't speak Chinese. Even though my language is Chinese, the other neighbor is Indian, but I don't speak both languages. But my daughter, yes. So probably this is the thing that from now on that we have to think whether Chinese language is very important to us. I don't know. This I open this one for discussion. Maybe if this is a requirement or pre-requirement. If not, then we go to other things that is more important. That the discussion of what would be our contribution to this OBOR initiative by the Chinese government. Please.
As Muslims, we should think about our future, as I said before, towards this kind of strategy of Belt and Road. So what's your role in Malaysia? We influence other countries. I told you before, there is no way to go or to implement One Belt, One Road only through the Muslim countries. We should be understanding these kind of things, because other countries will still try their best in following the U.S. strategy to stop China's movement. The only can cooperate with Muslim countries. This opportunity, of course, for Muslims to cooperate, to benefit. But how to benefit is a question. We cannot only take the money and sell our properties. We have to make the sustainable development of our economics in the country and to be example for other countries, for Muslim countries. So you play a very important role to be example in future for other countries, at least for Indonesia, for Brunei. You need to develop by China's support. As our sister said, we cannot stop this kind of this movement. They will try their best to move, to keep moving for the strategy. But if we cannot deny, as sister said, we should join and we benefit. And the Muslims with a standard. Standard is a requirement of Islam, this kind of the standard. And there's no thing can conflict between two sides. There is no conflicts between two sides, only the political movement. But we have to think, we have to direct our political movement towards the best one, So here, if they use the standard, Sharia standard as economic system, China will benefit. Because China is innocent, they don't know what Islam is. China has no effort to be put on the Sharia side, and they have no interest in to do so. But we have to do, we offer. Meaning that two parties will sign a contract that one party should discuss with another one. So this is an offer. Another one is acceptance. So we offer the something, China offer something to you. You want to buy. But which is halal or not, you have to distinguish or differentiate. It is halal or investment according to my faith. I accept. If not, I cannot accept. Why? Because I'm a Muslim. This is a simple question, simple example. So the China side will say, what kind of thing we are following your requirements as a Muslim? They will offer to them. Again, we give them direction. Muslims, as a business, we don't sign the contract based on the riba. For example, we don't sign the contract that contradict with the Sharia requirements. Then they will learn from you. What's your standard? Can you offer your standard? Now, are you ready to provide that standard for them to follow you? I think the Malaysia system with Islamic finance, Islamic takaful or other economic systems they will offer. But if you don't use it, you will miss it. I mean, you miss opportunity. Then you lose. You lose what? Your identity as a Muslim. This is a role. It's very important. It's not only for our benefits, for our generation in future, for our neighbors. We should cooperate. That's knowing. But how to cooperate is your choice.
I can see this. Brother, please.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Brother Ahmad, Professor Maksum, and ladies and gentlemen.
Please introduce yourself.
Let me introduce a bit background of myself. My name is Muhammad Nur Hafiz. I'm currently at the International Halal Foundation. There's also Halal International Barat under the Majelis Academy Law. A bit of background. I have 30 years of banking that I bring on the table, conventional and Islamic. Now, just an experience. 1992, when we started, when BEM and BEM was split, so I joined BEM Muhammad and helped them to start BEM Muhammad and Barat as a full-fledged Islamic bank. That is 1992. 1907, I was taken out and was headhunted to Singapore to start the first full-fledged Islamic bank in Singapore, Islamic Bank of Asia. That is from zero. No regulation, no nothing. We set up this first bank in full-fledged in Singapore. That is 2007. Now I'm attached to some International Islamic Halal Foundation, looking to more global halal ecosystem rather than just finance, which finance is part of the halal ecosystem. Now, that I will let the researcher to state to me how you want to take advantage of my experience to help you. Now, my question is, how is China? How open is China to open up, when you set up Islamic system in China, obviously you have to, do some adjustment to your regulation, law and everything. How open is China to that? This is more implementation kind of, I'm going straight to implementation because to have an economic activity, the first thing you need to do, how you govern this activity, that is the first thing that you need to do. Change the existing banking regulation to an Islamic, or part of it, or they can. What Singapore does is they have the banking, what we call the banking regulation. What they did is just to slot in the Islamic application in that particular banking system without totally overhaul the whole banking system with Islamic. So how open is China to that? They say, okay, we want to do Islamic banking, we are ready to pass the law to Parliament and change the regulation. How do you know that? Thank you very much.
Yeah, I can tell you, there is no regulation related to Islamic finance. There's no thing related to Islamic finance. There's no compromise from China government side to set up Islamic finance or Islamic finance system framework. You don't think so? I'm talking about Malaysia. I'm not talking inside of China. China is what? Communist state. So they want to do something is fully secularized. Nothing related to religion. It's the system, the requirement, the basic requirement of the system. So they can follow the US or they can follow the European, the conventional system. They don't compromise the Islamic one. This is a reality, you have to know. I'm talking about the Islamic finance here. How we can use the Islamic framework or Islamic finance in front of this kind of the project as investment come from China. You have authority to do so. And if you do, they will start to think about Islamic finance. Again, how Islamic finance is. Then they will support or at least to project some research to follow the Islamic finance, to provide the information to them. But if you choose the conventional one, it's very easy for them to accept. Very easy. They cooperate with you. Then Islamic finance will be allowed, aside. Islamic finance no role towards this kind of the projects, big project and opportunity. So we miss the opportunity. We don't let this kind of opportunity go through us and without touching anything. We have to think about it. This is a strategy. We have to think. Of course, we cannot stop the project that come from China. It's definitely it's a very big project. But how we can benefit as Muslims in this country? As I said, my idea I think is clear. We use the framework, Islamic framework. We provide to them information. That's our standard. At least 50% we should be utilized as Islamic one. Then we will think about it. We will finance the projects according to Sharia. But if we don't think, the situation will be shifted to another direction. It's very easy for them to do. They don't follow. Definitely they will not follow.
Is it possible that we use some sort of green finance or something?
We provide the information to them. This according to our phase. Of course, we don't accept at the first stage. But the negotiation between two parties, I told you, this strategy cannot go other countries. Myanmar, can you use your map, sister? Your map. I explain again to you. Okay, it's very important. You see, huh? Very important. Okay, China. I can use example. China. Okay, use this way. So Laos, Thailand. You see, Myanmar, other countries, Cambodia, other countries, they don't allow China to go. Only the way is what? Only the way is. Only the way you see is Malaysia, Indonesia. Other countries never allow them to do. They cannot go. It's an opportunity for you. So you have what? You have what? Advantage. They have to go through this way. Same as Pakistan. You see, Central Asia, but cost too much to go. But very easy to go through Pakistan from China to the sea. This is Arabic countries. Others they will do with Iran, with Afghanistan here. But US occupied Afghanistan, right? Their strategy is very strong. They want to stop China for this kind of the project. They occupied Afghanistan not for Russia, for China, for a long time. So why our president, suggested to president of Afghanistan, we support you, we support you. But U.S. never allowed China to do so here. Iran is same, but Iran is very clever, smart. They make the balance between U.S. and China, benefit to both sides. But what we can do is from Pakistan, to Arabic countries. But Arab countries still with problems. Still with problems. The first they be successful for 3,000 kilometers, from China side to Corridor. It's China-Pakistan corridor. So here, we want to use all Muslim countries, you see, from here to here, or from here to here. Muslim country is in the middle. There's no way for them to go. U.S. already, occupied, make their strategy for, half century. They cannot, break their strategy and allow China to be raised up. So here is Muslim countries. Here, Muslim countries, the only way that they can let the strategy go out of China, cooperate. Meaning that the cooperation is selected with Muslim country only. This is Allah gives you opportunity. Allah gives you opportunity for Muslims. But you don't make a research for studies for this kind of things, then you miss. I mean, you have an advantage that you put Sharia in front of them, the table. This is our requirement, this is our standard. If you want to invest in our country, you said you will trust each other, you will trust us. Our Sharia is our standard. You study our Sharia, protect all human rights through our Sharia. You see, they will follow. There's nothing. It's not only the issue of riba, but the human rights. Protecting Muslims or non-Muslims is a fair or justice system. Then they will make it interesting to do. Another thing we keep in mind, after opening China to the world through 1989, many of the scholars educated by Europe, by US, these scholars come back against Islam. We never allow Islam to be practiced in China. It's an issue. And if you talk about the framework of Islamic one, never. We don't think so. Will happen in China. But outside China is opportunity. If China can implement the Islamic finance framework outside of China, meaning that they will start inside of China. This is a strategy I'm talking about. It's the first place, others following Indonesia, other Muslim countries. There's no way for them to make the strategy be successful unless Muslims support them. It's my conclusion. Without Muslims, they will fail. The big fail.
Thank you so much to Professor Dr. Matsum and all the panels for the tremendous experiences and also the knowledge that you have shared just now. So, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen, we are about to end our program for today. So, I would like to welcome Ustaz Abdullah Sulaiman, Head of Department Economy and Law, to present our memento of appreciation. Alright, first of all, I would like to welcome Professor Dr. Ahmad Musa Wang Yangbo to receive the memento of our appreciation. Next, I would like to welcome Professor Dr. Matsum, CEO College Pengajian Islam Johor, Masa, to receive our memento of appreciation. And last but not least, I would like to welcome Associate Professor Dr. Noraiza Awang, Leader RIG Islamic Accounting Finance and Muamalat UTHM Selangor, to receive our memento of appreciation. So ladies and gentlemen, after this we will continue with a photo session outside at the balcony outside here. So on behalf of the committee members, I would like to express my utmost gratitude to all the distinguished guests and members here for making this event a success. Let us all be guided by all the things that we have learned and heard throughout the presentation today and be able to see and influence our future. So thank you, and thank you very much for and please forgive our shortcoming until we meet again, perhaps in the next meeting, and may all of you have a good day ahead. So I would like to invite all of you to have a photo session at the balcony outside here. And perhaps the committee members may lead all the distinguished guests to go to the balcony. Thank you. Sekian, wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.